All right, Tav, couple of boys in remote locations, working from a little bit of a uncomfortable spot here on the bed. Not my best angle. Um, but I think it makes sense with kind of the review we're about to do.
You look tall, dude.
Yeah. Camera tricks. Any camera tricks we can do.
Uh, to your point, though, got to keep this one light because it was another really, really, really brutal, long performance for the Syracuse fan base here yesterday.
I think that's the perfect way to sum it up.
You're watching Domed in Cuse, the quick hit podcast for real Orange fans. If you love Cuse sports, hit like and subscribe.
All right, so welcome back to another game review. You guys know how this goes. We're going to go through our game flow. Then we're going to get into, a little bit of banter back and forth. We're going to do a little media roundup after, and that's probably going to be it. We're going to be quick today. No point in dragging on some of these reviews now at the end of the season. Uh, Anything that we need to talk about, we'll cover in more depth in the film room and some of the previews, but in these episodes, we're not going to make you guys sit through a long episode after trash like that. So, um, like and subscribe. We'll also probably put out a basketball, review because that one will be maybe a little bit quicker, but we'll be able to touch on, a little bit more positive topics. So like and subscribe. All right. Game flow tab. So, before we even dive into the game flow, one of the things I think I want to start with is I think you called this out kind of early on in the game. Georgia Tech was asleep to start this game. They did not start this game well. They left the door wide open.
100%, dude. I mean, like, there was a chance for us early in this game to be competitive in this game. Like, just like you talked about, Georgia Tech started this game completely asleep. Completely asleep. Their opening possession started with a fumble. They were not executing penalties, drop passes. Like, I mean, I say that everything they were running was working. Like, it was all open, but it wasn't being executed. And so, to your point, like, there was an opening for Syracuse to be competitive in this game. It just quickly dissipated about as like instantly as you could imagine, like as soon as our offense touched the field at any point in this game.
I mean, they left the door wide open. They left dinner on the table, and they left a seat for us at the. I mean, this was just they played very very poorly in this game. Um, I don't think they're like a great team, but they're better than what they showed in this one. And they just didn't play very well. So, Syracuse, I think most other Power Four teams in the country would have been able to, um, at the very least, cover, potentially be in that game towards the end with a lead. We talked about game flow against this team and getting up, get scoring points was going to be very important. You get a huge run from Willis to get you to the 1 yard line, and you move backwards. You end the drive somehow at their 16-yard line. Not disciplined, not executing, penalties, not blocking people. I mean, a lot of the hallmarks of stuff that you don't want to see from a team. I don't care if your backup quarterback's in the game. You're at the 1 yard line. That's not Ricky's fault that you don't score there.
I mean, it was instant. I mean, it was a penalty, the false start, the second play, and then I believe it was what, like another 0 yard run, another false start, or maybe it was a sack and then a second
A
false
sack.
start.
Yeah.
Then it was another potential delay game there. Like, absolute comedy of errors from us, from just a game plan. Like, just like we did not look prepared to take the field. We had like one play ready to go, a running play up the middle. And then aside from that, we looked completely like once we gained 40 yards, we were like, we don't know what to do anymore. You know, isn't that what it kind of appeared like? We like looked so shocked that we had a chunk play that we like it threw us off so much that we weren't ready to finish off the drive.
I just I'm upset at kind of, I mean, for sure the coaching, right? Like, let's be honest about it. I'm upset at the coaching here. We're at first and goal on the 1, and we've been talking about putting Valari back there at QB and how effective that has been in short yardage. That's like the perfect situation. And if you need to call a timeout to get your fucking self
Fine.
organized on first and call it. We
That's the
talked about
time to
how
call.
Right. We talked about how important game flow is going to be, taking a lead, putting this team under pressure, putting this team in a position where they decide they have to pass the ball instead of running it, which Georgia Tech, for some odd reason, did for a lot of the first half anyway. They were just passing the ball around like they were fucking, prime USC, and we couldn't stop the run worth a damn. And our secondary was holding up pretty well against the pass, actually, for the most part, unless they did Spider Y2 banana and just threw it in the flat.
Yeah, that's a play that we seem to have no answer for, although it's one of the 5 plays you put into a playbook when you hit in training camp. It's ridiculous. But 100% agree. Like, Brent Key was, like, kind of screwing around early in this game. Like, he was clearly, like, trying some things on offense. I mean, they sat anybody who was potentially questionable for this game. Nobody played for Georgia Tech. Anybody who had any tweak or nagging injury, they treated it like it was like an NBA team playing against a team that's tanking, in April.
Yep.
Like, they did not dress half their roster yesterday. Like, and it
Yep.
still was not a competitive football game. And that was with, like you're saying, Georgia Tech really playing with their food for the first quarter of the half of this game.
Totally. So if we talk about playing with their food, they get down, long drive, almost 5-minute drive from them. They get down to the goal line. They run the ball first and goal to get 5 yards, and then they throw the ball twice, and they're nowhere near it. So they take the field goal, and we end the first quarter, and it's 3-3. So again, this game is there. This game is right there, and then you get to the second quarter. They score a touchdown. They score another touchdown. Then again, we are unable to execute at halftime. So they score a touchdown with 4 minutes left in the second half. And again, with how our team is, you don't want to be then giving them the ball back out with 4 minutes left in the second half. We do, right? And we give them the ball back with 45 seconds left in the half, and they get a field goal out of it. And that kind of just sums up where our team is right now. Wouldn't you say that? Like, that's kind of emblematic of where we are right now as a team.
I mean, we just can't execute any situation flawlessly is an aberration at this point. We can't execute any situation well, really.
But I feel like every game we've given the ball back to the other team right before half and let them score, whether it's a touchdown, whether it's a field goal. And it started in that first Tennessee game. You remember the first Tennessee game?
100%.
We give them the ball back at the end of the first half when we're in that game. This is with Steve, right? So this isn't on the quarterback. Again, like, there's plenty to look at with Ricky. We'll do the Ricky stuff in the film room. We're not going to pile on the kid here. We've talked about how he's not good enough, and that's fine. We're not going to pile on him here. We'll talk about it in the film room. But when it comes to just like pure execution outside of that, there's been too many moments, and especially at the end of the first halves, that just hasn't got cleaned up week 9 into the season. And that has nothing to do with Ricky and nothing to do with Steve. The first game, Tennessee, we give them the ball at their own, what is it, like 20, 30-yard line, and they're trying to run out the clock. And we can't even let them run out the clock.
It's wild. We've pretty much mangled the end of half in every way possible at this point. Like we just cannot execute. And I think the end of half it's a microcosm for what we're seeing across, frankly, 60 minutes, right? It's just very easy to identify because good teams, right, are very buttoned up. Fran has talked about it. He wants to be good for the middle 8 and the middle 4, right? We don't do that. We do not do that. And like, I'm not sure what positive takeaway you can even really pull from this performance, because it wasn't good anywhere. Like, at least last week the defense showed some promise. This week the defense showed about 8 minutes of competitiveness, and then like we just were nowhere near Georgia Tech for pretty much the second quarter on. Like, it was a scout team performance from Georgia Tech against us pretty much from that first quarter on. Like, it's more than the quarterback position at this point, I think, is what people kind of need to just start to realize. Like, we are in a major development mode. yes, the quarterback is a major problem. This is not a D1 quarterback situation right now.
But I just want to dive in. I just want to dive in on this end of half here before we move on.
Totally.
We have the ball. It is 1:40 on the clock, and it is 1st and 10 at the Georgia Tech 48. We run 8-yard run by Willis, a very good run. With 1:40 left in the half, 1st and 10, and you get an 8-yard run, there is no reason the other team should touch the ball.
Run it again.
So 1:40, we do run it again. We run it with Nixon up the middle for 1 yard. So now we're 3rd and 1. We then do the thing that we've talked about so many times that just does not make sense for us. We try to sneak it with the skinniest quarterback who does not like contact. It's very obvious he doesn't like contact. He doesn't want to put his nose in there. And he literally has the easiest first down of all time. He probably did get it, in my opinion, but there was no good camera angle to review. But also, the Georgia Tech guy just one arm on Ricky's arms, and Ricky is unable to extend the ball, and he's got his arms like in his belly. And it's just like, okay, we're going to go for it on 4th down. Meanwhile, remember, 1:20 on the clock on 2nd and 1. We are now at 40 seconds left in the half. 45 seconds left. 4th and 1. What do? We give the ball to Will Nixon on an outside zone.
It's just incredible, dude. Maybe it'd be good to maybe think about giving it to the guy who got 8 yards the first time, right? 250-pound monster.
No. Willis got the first 8 yards, so I'm fine giving it to Willis. But if you're gonna give it to Willis, why are you giving it to him on an outside zone on 4th and 1?
Well, I think it was Nixon too, wasn't it? It was Nixon.
No, sorry, Nixon. Yeah, Nixon had all these runs. Willis didn't touch the ball. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Willis. Sorry, I was thinking Will Nixon. My bad. Nixon is in the game the whole time here, which I have no problem with. It's not. It's
his zone.
It's also not. I don't think it's on the player itself. I think more. Why are we running sneaks and then an outside zone?
It doesn't make sense. And let's get the big fellow the ball in short yardage. I don't understand why we seem a little like why is it an aversion to get him to your point, the option should never be Ricky sneak or Willis handoff. It's Willis handoff. It's not an option. We should
or Valari sneak from the shotgun position.
The Ricky sneak shouldn't be in the playbook. It should not be in the playbook. Like he cannot do it. We've seen it 5 times. I think he's literally like 0 for 4 or 5 on sneaks or something like that. Like.
I mean, Angeli sneaks weren't terrible. They weren't Kyle McCord level, though, right? Like, if you've got Kyle McCord back there who knows exactly what he's doing, he picks his little hole, he does his little Tom Brady bullshit, and he gets the first down, that's great as a QB. But I'm seeing, and this isn't just a Fran Jeff Nixon thing, I'm seeing so many sneaks across college football that just clearly are not going to work.
Totally. I mean, you're seeing it. It happens all the time. I mean, teams just are like addicted to these 1.5 yard sneaks too. That I just do. Like you covered it like the first week. I do not understand what this like epidemic is across college football. The teams cannot figure out where the ball is spotted. Like,
and Michigan State did it last night against Michigan, right? And Michigan's like one of the best interior defenses that you're going to go against, and they're all lined up knowing the sneak is coming. And they get no push with Aiden Childs.
Right.
And they do it again. And they somehow like find a way to work it in because he kind of just falls backwards into the end zone at one point.
Childs is also huge, like.
But my point is like it took them 2 sneaks to get in the end zone, and I don't know why we're not just they have good running backs there. Why aren't we just handing it off, running up the middle, like?
Totally. Like the whole thing is just getting goofy, and I think that's a good call out by you. Like that end of half situation, very emblematic for what the Syracuse watching experience is like right now.
Yeah. So 1:40, 1st and 10 from the Georgia Tech 48. You can't turn that into 3 points for Georgia Tech, and we did.
No.
So we end the half at 20-3 Georgia Tech. We come right out of half, and we score a touchdown. And this is the one that I do want to talk about, Ricky, because everybody's going to talk about well, I don't think everybody, maybe Fran will, maybe some other people will. Oh my God, Ricky's looking better. Ricky had Jonte Cook so wide open, and through maybe the worst pass ever, Jonte Cook should have scored on the first play. He was the most wide open I've ever seen a guy. Like, there was nobody around him, and he had to literally stop to catch the ball. Like, literally stop, pause on the football field for like 2 seconds to catch the ball, and that allows the defense to catch up, and it's not a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, it should have
Then
been a walk-in. He was 20 yards behind. I mean, he was standing there like he looked like a guy who was like stranded on a desert island, right? Like waving to like a fucking airplane trying to save him. Like he's literally like, Ricky, just please see me, dude. Just please see me wide open down the sideline here. Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, it wasn't a good throw. Like he was like literally like 5 seconds late and then underthrew it. Like I'm glad we made the play. It was not. I mean, like, fine. This is way more of a story about Georgia Tech's defense just not really coming out in the second half and, like, frankly, giving us a touchdown than it was us executing anything here. Like, these were blown coverages.
well, as Georgia Tech looks ahead, like this is the thing I think they got to worry about. That pass defense is really bad. And on the next play, you see it again. They just completely blow a coverage on Daryl Gill. And it doesn't look great from their perspective. But again, even with that touchdown, it becomes 20-10. You start to trick yourself as a Syracuse fan because you try to be positive. Oh, maybe we just get one stop, maybe a turnover and we're right back in the game. And Georgia Tech instead just walks down the field, 7 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, touchdown, 27-10, and we don't do anything again for the rest of the game here. Georgia Tech ends up putting it on us 41-16. You could tell Brent Key wasn't happy with his team. He was pissed off on the sideline interviews, saying we're not even playing well, all this stuff. And he was right. His team didn't play well. Haynes King fucked me with a selfish, classic Haynes King play instead of tossing it to Jamal Haynes to get a touchdown because I had both of them to score. He just took it himself, so fuck him.
Yeah, that's how it hurt. The score to make it 20-10 was like the worst fool's gold if you were looking for a Syracuse backdoor cover in this game because to your point, it felt possible for a second. It was like, okay, now we got 2 possessions. We got 2 scores here to play with. Like, we can sneak under that 17.5 hook. I mean, they just walked down the field so quickly and scored to make it 27-10 again. I was like, this has no chance. And I believe we 3-and-outed right away after that, too. Yep. And it's like, okay, this one's over. We can kind of move on.
I was still so mad watching the game. I was getting mad at things. And, one of the things I didn't like from this game was, Georgia Tech runs that offense where it's like a lot of guys in motion, a lot of counter, and then Haynes King is going to pull it. And a lot of that is somewhat determined on the field, but a lot of that is kind of predetermined too, right? Like they're going to run this play, he's going to hand it off, or he's going to pull it on a counter and stuff like that. And it seemed like we were guessing every single time. But if we were guessing, I don't know how we were guessing because we were guessing at 0%. We would tackle Haynes King and the ball would be 10 yards away with the wide receiver, the running back. We would tackle the running back. The DN would crash, tackle the running back, run right past Haynes King, and he'd run out for 10 yards. We were never lined up on screens again. Brent Key clearly saw that on the tape and said, this team, if you put 2 guys out, they're going to put 1 guy out on 2 guys and 1 guy up over the top, and they're going to give you 8 yards on the screen every time. They got called for 1 holding. They probably could have been called for like 5. But when you're just getting beat that badly and you're one-on-one out there, like you're not going to get that call every single time in the game. We know holding isn't called on every single play, even if it could be. I mean, the defense played well. The guys played well, but again, the scheme didn't look right.
It's like to your like on some of those. It's like it's tough to like get the benefit of the doubt when it's like it's 1-on-1 with a guy who's being blocked, and then there's a guy running the ball, and there's 15 yards of space. Like the referee isn't going to give you the benefit of the doubt in those situations, time and time.
And again. I mean, the 1 or 2 holds that they did hold, they didn't even really need to. They kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like it was like if the running back takes a different lane or the ball carrier takes it, they don't need to hold on those plays. Like it's like it's to your point. It just it got no better after a certain point, and like I don't. We were guessing on the option plays and the RPOs against Georgia. I don't know if Georgia Tech had the Chauncey Billups glasses on or some point and just knew what we were running the entire game. It certainly felt like that, but like, yeah, we were guessing the entire game. It didn't feel like, frankly, we were all that prepared for this offensive scheme. Like, I get that they went pass heavy to start, and frankly, that worked amazingly against us. They just kept dropping passes. I mean, they could have put a 40 piece on us in the first half pretty easily if they just didn't have a bunch of like really like bad miscues, honestly.
Or if they just ran the ball.
Totally.
All right, Tav. Let's do our 3 stars here. Let's start with star number 3. We're going to go to the offensive side of the ball and a receiver who continues to be that guy for us, no matter who the quarterback is, and that's Daryl Gill. He continues to put his head down. He continues to do the work. He continues to make catches, 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. This is his second week in a row getting a touchdown with Ricky at QB, and I hope we see him here again next year with Angeli because I think he would have had just a phenomenal year if Angeli was around. I think a lot of these guys on the receiving core would have because we're very deep, but I think he's a guy who really would have stood out with Angeli because Angeli was really starting to push the ball down the field and he was starting to get comfortable with that. And Gill is just a beast. He's a beast back there. He's a beast.
Totally. And like to your point, I think what hurts so much is that chemistry was clearly starting to click. Like that last couple games, like we've joked about it. Like Steve was doing some of the fuck it, he's down there somewhere stuff with
Yeah.
Gill. Like he's just like,
Yeah.
look, I trust this guy to go up and make a play on the ball. Like if he's 1-on-1 down the field, I'm just gonna throw it. And I love to see that. Like I think like as a fan too, like it obviously makes for really fun. It's a fun style of football when the quarterback clearly has that rapport with his receivers. I'm not going to belabor this too much because I'm like now like fantasizing about the first 4 games of the season again. But I love Daryl Gill. I'm glad he got in the end zone last week or this week. Last week wasn't his best game. I wouldn't say like there was some contested catches. Like I don't necessarily think like were his fault, but like there are plays that he's come up with in the past, right? And yeah, there was the one interference penalty. I was happy to see him bounce back and score this week because he's been a leader on the field and in the locker room. I think for us this year, he's obviously a holdover from the previous regime with Dino. He's a guy I just think highly of, and I want to see him do well. And I was glad to see him have a productive bounce back game this week.
Agreed. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is going to be Chris Peel. I thought Peel was excellent again in this game. You could add Demetrius Samuel here, but because Peel had the fumble, that's where we're going to go with it. The secondary was really good. You know, Deuce was really good. I thought DG was even okay at times. Yeah, so just Peel. You know, they don't have a ton of receivers, but their receivers didn't do a whole lot in this game. When they did pass the ball, it was to running backs, it was to tight ends, a few wide receiver screens here and there, but we really shut them down on the outside, and it's been really nice seeing the development of those guys at corner because it's frustrated for some of the things that we are frustrated about with Fran this year. You know, he is a DB guy, and those DBs have clearly improved, not only from last year to this year, but even throughout the year. And DBs probably, in my opinion, DB and wide receiver are like our strongest spots. And if some of these guys can come back next year, we could be very, very good on the outside. A lot of talent, a lot of speed, a lot of size. So I think there's a lot here to be excited about go forward. And Peel just showed you why he's a lockdown corner potential NFL prospect. And I think we have probably 3 NFL prospects playing right now between Kerr, Samuel, and Peel on the outside. So it's pretty awesome at Syracuse to have that.
Totally. I mean, like, I couldn't agree with you more. Like the secondary and the receiving group, like the positions on the outside, like that is the strength of the team. You can make the argument it's been the strength of Syracuse for about 15 years now, to be honest with you. Like
But
that
we're
is,
really young now, you know.
and
We've
we are
got guys
really
coming back,
young.
so
Like, yeah, we'll have to replace the safeties, but on the corners, like we're young and we're going to be good. Like that's going to be a group that will continue to mature. I agree.
but
I
even
thought
some of the guys at safeties getting reps behind Chestnut and Grant have been good. Raheem Long's been really good this year. Cornell Perry's been really good this year. I
Yep.
think Buxton has another year left. So you're not like totally replacing everything. We've seen
No,
some
and
guys play, right?
that's
So
a good call. Like Buxton and Long, I believe, are both juniors. Like you will
yep.
have some continuity and some like leadership back there. Like
I
it's
think
not like
Perry's a sophomore, no?
I think so. I think he might.
Yeah,
I know he's not a freshman, so like
right.
you're at least coming in with a guy who's got real experience and is going to be back. So that's all encouraging to me. And I thought Peel has been just the guy. I think has been really just solid all
All
year
year.
long. I think he's been just a solid contributor. He's not a guy that you're seeing out there. It's like he's not a guy who's blowing assignments, you know. And I
Neither him or Samuel, honestly. We don't have a ton of blown assignments on the outside.
no. And I thought this was a good play. Like this seemed like it was a point of emphasis, right? It was like, look, if we have opportunities to stand up some of these inexperienced receivers, let's do it and let's punt the ball. And he did it right away, pulled it out. He started this game great. Like this is exactly what you wanted to see from the defense from Georgia against the Georgia Tech team that didn't particularly look like they were up for this game. I'm not going to belabor the points of like what happened on that subsequent possession and frankly the rest of the game, but again, like there are guys and individual contributors that are showing up and trying to contribute to this game, and Peel is one of those guys.
Well, what happens on that subsequent possession? You do have one thing on offense, in my opinion, that has continued to work, and that's Willis. Yazin Willis has just been excellent, man. He's been absolutely excellent for this team. He somehow had 100 yards yesterday. He had 10 carries for 76 yards, averaging 7.6 yards per carry. In a way that the blocking still isn't great, but he has kind of eliminated some of the stuff that you were frustrated about earlier in the year of the running sideways behind the line. He's really started to get upfield on a lot of runs, and you could just see him kind of bust through. And when he has that speed, and when he's playing a little bit of an inferior defense, like this Georgia Tech defense is not good. I'm not impressed by them. And so when he has that opportunity to play against a defense like this, you could just see his talent pop. And if we had an option at quarterback in this game, I think Willis could have had a monster game, especially if you could have taken a lead in this game and sat on the ball a little bit, because that team was unable to tackle him at times. He had another 20 plus yards receiving, so almost 100 yards in total today. He just was excellent.
Yeah, I think and I have challenged him a lot this year. Like I hold him to a high standard. He was good yesterday. Like he came out right that first 40-yard run. To your point, that was an all business run. I mean, it was he squared his shoulders. I'm just taking this between the tackles. Someone's gonna have to tackle me, And he dragged guys. I thought he was gonna score. Honestly, like
I thought he was going to get tackled at the
12
10.
yards. Like
Yeah, he dragged guys for like 10 yards. So
he showed up the way I wanted him to look yesterday. Like he was great.
And it sucks that he doesn't get that ball again at the 1 yard line right
absurd,
away.
dude. It's absurd. Like it should be anything to just make sure he gets the ball and gets in the end zone right away. Again, I've had my points where I've been critical of him this year because I think he is an NFL player.
And you expect a lot from him, right? So
exactly. There was nothing to criticize him from yesterday. And you watch that game yesterday, it's like I don't know how this guy's not fucking ready to pull his hair out. I mean, at least yesterday we went to some single back for the first time.
That would be nice to see more
all year. How about we do that with him?
I mean, he looked dangerous back there in that. Yeah,
that's what he's going to excel at. Let him build up some momentum and just hit these holes between the tackles a little bit harder. But largely speaking, I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but I thought he was much better yesterday. I thought he ran with the tone that he hasn't run with every game this year, and I thought yesterday he was focused from the opening snap, and then we just had to go away from him because the game just got out of hand pretty much immediately.
It's kind of like he started the year like this. He kind of in the middle was like a little bit up and down, and then now he's kind of back to what he started the year like. And I'd still like to see more rotation back there. I'd like to see some other guys back there, but again, 10 carries for 76 yards. Can't ask for much more than a 7.6 carry, yards per carry when the other team knows you can't throw the ball. So
yeah, I'm not sure why we can't seem to figure out that we need to find a slightly more explosive guy out of the backfield to catch passes. Tyreek Hill seems like a guy who can do that role. I understand that we don't have a Malachi James
We
or a
miss
second
Malachi
Malachi
James.
James on the roster. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, we
I
miss him a
don't
lot.
buy that there's nobody else with any bit of juice out of the backfield to catch passes. Like Jaden Hart can't catch passes either. Like someone's got to have. You felt good enough about him to put him on kickoff for 3 weeks. You don't feel good enough to have him catch a pass out of the backfield.
A
I don't
screen
know.
pass, yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Let's talk about some other guys who I thought had good games. We talked about the secondary. Deuce, Samuel, even Grant I thought was pretty good. Raheem Long was good. All those guys played well. Moultrie Goodard got out there when Gary Bryant went down, and I thought he played really well. Cook was fine, but he's not getting a ton of opportunities right now. That's not on him.
The offense is just tough. I mean, I thought Jabity was good again. Like, talk about a guy who's finishing out his senior year strong. Like, he played well again yesterday. I think that's 4 sacks now the last couple weeks. Like, I think he's up to 5 for the year. Like, good for that kid, man. Like, not easy for a guy who's, especially a guy in the trenches, right? We've got a lot of those guys who are upperclassmen on the lines. Like, you got to finish out your career on a non-competitive football team. I don't envy that at all. Like, these guys are playing hard. And
Tank was good. Tank was trying to disrupt Haynes King a little bit yesterday. He got in there.
Jabity has played a couple of the best games of his career the last few weeks.
Totally.
At the end here. And
totally.
That's much respect to that kid, man, and Tank and a lot of these other guys who are busting it out there. And they're not being rewarded for it. And I feel bad because these kids don't deserve their careers to end at Syracuse this way.
Another kid who's played some of his best games recently, Amon Poriola.
Agree. Dio's been a guy for a couple years now that I think, like, athletically and effort-wise pops. Like, like there's you see it. Like, you see it out there. It's like, look, again, sometimes my dumb football brain is a little binary. I'm like, that guy looks athletic.
Yeah. Ball player.
Exactly. And it pops. And, like, I also think he's an effort guy, though, too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, he puts in the effort for sure.
So I agree. I think he's contributed the last few weeks, and we've moved him around a lot on defense, too. He's a guy I'd like to try and find a little more continuity in this role moving into next year,
Well, that's it for the 3 stars. We'll go ahead and jump into the Fran Brown Roundup. All right, again, we're not going to belabor the points here on you guys. Key plays, we've kind of already talked about these ones, but we're going to go ahead and start. Willis's run to get us to the 1-yard line and kind of the key sequence. First play of the game, Willis gets us to the 1-yard line, and we kind of squander it from there. So that kind of section of plays from the 1-yard line where we end up taking a field goal from the 15. That's my key play number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that this wasn't a touchdown,
Settling for 3 there. We talked about in the beginning, you got to have a lead against this team, and we didn't. So
we just our confidence and execution is just so low and poor right now. Like, you knew that when this didn't get in the end zone, I mean, the game was over. You could have just shut off the TV at this point.
Yeah,
honestly, like,
yeah. You kept a little bit of hope because Georgia Tech was so poor, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The next key kind of play or sequence was, again, not getting that first down on 4th down at half. So it's 17-7 Georgia Tech. Syracuse is in Georgia Tech territory. We get right up to the 3rd and 1, unable to convert on 3rd and 1, unable to convert on 4th and 1. And from there, Georgia Tech gets another field goal. And it was like, that was our chance maybe to get a field goal or a touchdown before half. And, we were getting the ball to start the half. So maybe you could do that little wraparound, get 10, get 14 points. But instead you give up the 3. I love a wraparound.
I do too.
Nothing like getting the goalie on one side of the net, you wrap around the other side of the net, you put it in, because that's the only wraparound I even know about right now, because I don't even know about this football wraparound. We haven't done it in so long.
I feel like the football wraparound feels like something that, like, is not attainable for us. Like, which is crazy. It's crazy. Like, that feels like something that, like, we're gonna have to wait a full season before we're gonna see it again. Like it's wild.
Anyway, so that sequence is key sequence number 2. And key play number 3, even though I don't really think it's a key play, but I think we do need to talk about it, is Ricky fumbles in the red zone there. That drive was actually the most promising drive we maybe had all game. Ricky was looking at his best in that drive. We were moving the ball, and then to inexplicably fumble there, we got to hold on to the ball. And I was critical with Steve early in the season when he was turning the ball over like that. Both you and I, we talked about this a lot, and we'll continue to talk about it, throughout our time on the podcast, is we don't mind those interceptions or those turnovers when the quarterback is trying to force the ball down the field. Like Steve had, that one against UConn, where he's trying to force the ball down the field and he's trying to make a play. We're never going to criticize that. Kyle did that. He turned the ball over, sometimes trying to push the ball down the field. And there's risk reward with throwing the ball down the field, but you need to do it. And you're going to turn the ball over sometimes doing that. And I have no problem with the quarterback turning those ones over. I do have a problem with these fumbles, with the interceptions where you're throwing a 5-yard route or throwing it short. You got to take care of the ball. And we talked about it, the one way we were going to potentially win this game, turnover margin. You get that turnover early and you think, wait, maybe Georgia Tech's asleep. Maybe they're going to mess some things up. Maybe we're going to win the turnover margin. And we proceed to not. We fumbled a few times, but we didn't lose them. But we did lose that one from Ricky, so that hurt.
We actually, the defense gave us what we did ask for. I mean, Peel made a great play on that first play of the game. I mean, that was a nice, stood the guy up, stripped it out. Like that was a really nice play on the outside from him. And that was clearly like we did at least seem to have an emphasis early on defense, maybe trying to push for turnovers. But to your point, dude, that fumble from Ricky was like it was a backbreaker, and it's like happened anytime we've had any momentum with him at quarterback. There's just been a backbreaking sequence or turnover or turnover on downs. Like we just cannot find consistency with him at quarterback, and it's I feel for him. I feel for the fan base. This situation obviously is not working out for anybody. But I think that's where I'm just going to leave it. It's just not working, and I don't know how much more I can watch of this experience if he's just going to be the quarterback for the rest of the year, to be fully honest. Like, I will, because we're loyal fans, and I'm going to subject myself to this every weekend, but I don't suggest anybody else do it. I really don't. Like,
yeah, I don't know why anybody's watching us right now, to be honest. So, it's not working, and it's not going to work, and if you want to tell me we don't have anything better, okay, but can we see it? Can we see something different? Because this isn't working. This isn't going to work. I don't care if he's our best option to win. He's not an option to win because we're not going to win with him. So show me something else, because this isn't it. So I don't care if nobody's better. I don't care if we don't have anything else on the roster. At this point, put Willis at quarterback. Put Will Nixon at quarterback. Put Jonte Cook. Let's fucking run Wildcat. Darryl Gill. Let's do some crazy shit. Like, remember when the Dolphins were like, okay, we don't have a quarterback. We're just going to have Ricky Williams be quarterback. Like, these are the kind of things, like, let's try something different. You might catch lightning in a bottle. You might not, but this isn't working, and it's not going to work. So don't gaslight me into thinking it is.
That's what I think the fan base is starting to just fully kind of feel like we're kind of just being like, there's just a little bit of spit being thrown in our face a little bit in terms of like what we're seeing and what's being told to us. Like I understand, to your point, I don't think there's a good option on the roster. I think we agree there's not. Clearly there's like, I can't imagine there is if he is not in the game right now.
But I don't care. This one doesn't work.
That's the real takeaway. This isn't working. It's not going to work. We need to move on.
Maybe there's nothing better, but let's try to catch lightning in a bottle, because we're just doing the same shit every game, and it does not work. And I don't care. I don't want to hear we have no other options. Don't give up. Don't give up here.
That's what we're giving up. We're basically mailing this in, and it's permeating. I mean, look. Jason Beck was a former Syracuse offensive coordinator. He is now the offensive coordinator at Utah. Utah's, we'll throw it out there just as their star quarterback. He's not necessarily a star, but Dampier is their starting quarterback. Their clear starting quarterback guy they brought in with Beck. to basically lead their offense. He did not play yesterday. That offense completely changed. He more or less ran the Villari offense he ran 2 years ago in that first half yesterday. They nearly put up a 50-piece on Colorado. A 50-piece. On a Colorado team that beat Iowa State at home.
A Colorado team that went toe-to-toe with this Georgia Tech team.
Totally. They were 43-0 at halftime yesterday. That's all I have to say on that anymore. I mean, like they started a guy named Bird Ficklin at quarterback yesterday. Like, I can guarantee you nobody knew who that guy was before the game. You know, I think he completed like 6 passes in the game or something.
And you know what? It might not work the whole season because we saw that with Villari. You kind of worked one game and then it didn't really work when the team was kind of prepared for it.
Yeah.
But at least they got one game.
They got one.
They did something.
You know? So, yeah. I think you hear it in our voices. I'm frustrated watching this. I don't want to watch it again. We saw it in person last week. It's getting no better. I think, look, you called it out immediately. You've really not wanted to let the coaches get off the hook on this. It is not getting better. It is unequivocally not getting better. Like, I don't know how much we want to jump into the sky view. I know we can wait for some of that for film room, but
Stay tuned for the film room because we will jump into the sky review and that'll be a good moment for us because, like you were saying on X, we watched it from the sky view last week. And then when everybody else kind of got that same look we got, it's telling. It is very telling from that view. So hold on to that for the film room because we're going to get into that there when you can watch it with us and we can kind of show you what we're talking about because it's not good.
Totally. But I think you could hear it before. I won't go fully into it, but you could see it on on X.
X,
like, that view shifted, right? The commentary turned up 10x, right? Because everyone is suddenly able to see exactly what he's seeing, right?
In a way that we weren't surprised about, right?
Right, exactly. We watched it last week. It's there's a lot of plays in there that are indefensible, right? And it's just again, we'll save a lot of that for our next session, but it's not pretty, and I'm not sure how we can trot it out again next week, to be fully frank. Like, you cannot go to the press conference and be like, he gives us our best chance to win this week. No one's.
He gives us zero chance to win. If you say he gives us zero chance to win and nobody else gives us a chance to win, fine. But how do we know? Because nobody else has played. So it's a stupid thing to say, in my opinion. Let's move on because I'm gonna get too frustrated. So let's move on to our 3 stars. All right, Fran Brown roundup. I don't have anything for you on this. I don't have anything from the post-game medias. I hardly watched any of it, to be honest with you. Something I'll maybe dial into a little bit more throughout the week, but for now, I don't really. I think the biggest thing is I was talking. I was throwing it out in the group chat, and I was getting a lot of pushback, saying you're unrealistic, you're not fair, this and that. And maybe I am. Maybe I'm just at the point where I'm so mad about what's happened at quarterback situation that I am being unreasonable and I am asking too much. But the one thing that I really just can't handle anymore is just being absolutely gaslit on what I'm seeing. And last week, hearing Ricky's getting better, Ricky's our best chance to win, there's nobody else on the roster. We have a mysterious quarterback who might end up being the best, but he's so mysterious he can't even play. I'm tired of it.
The mystery quarterback, man. The secret weapon quarterback who we've got just stashed away in Flint Hall.
We've got stashed away, but he's not good enough to see the field when this shit's going on. And you know what Fran said? Well, with Ricky's performances, if we had something else, we'd be playing it. This is my whole thing on this is it's not good enough with Ricky. Don't tell me Ricky's our best chance to win because we're not winning with Ricky. There's no chance to win with Ricky. So you're going to put in no chance for no chance. Fine. But at least the other no chance is different.
Right, it's a different.
He said Luke has a little playbook Luke can run. Let's put Luke out and run that little playbook. I don't care if it's the same 5 plays over and over again. Rich Bellin's out there. You're telling me Rich can't go out there and complete passes? Maybe he can't, but let's see it maybe. Jakari's been here for 2 years damn now. Do something with him. Put some kind of package together. Right. We talked about Jason Beck. Put the Jason Beck Villari playbook. The tape is literally out there. You could go copy it.
It's out there. The guy still plays on the team. He's starting.
It's better than this. I promise you. We watched it with our eyes. It is better than this.
I watched us win a football game with that, you know? And we played competitive football games with that. I mean, I'm with you. To take a step back, I do think last week was the most honest I have heard Fran about the quarterback situation. With Cuse Sports Talk, I forget what that was, that exact bit, but where he broke it down. I mean, he essentially threw Luke and Ricky under the bus. I mean, basically, it was like neither of these guys are good enough. He doesn't feel confident in either one. I hear that. I agree with you though, because I'm over this. I'm over watching this. Like, there's no possible chance that there's not anybody else on the roster who gives us this same level that we're getting from Rick.
Well, because it's 0 right now. With Ricky, it's 0. So either you're putting in somebody else who's 0.
I mean, Frank could put in his 12-year-old son at quarterback, and we're going to have the same chance to win right now.
Right.
Like, and so at this point, we've got to see something else. We've got to see, and you're starting to like the fan base. You'll see the most. Syracuse has our fan base can kind of be fickle. We've got kind of two factions of it, right? There's one that's going to overreact and complain about every fucking moment of every game and every decision, and then we've got a second faction that's going to be very loyal, right? I think you've even seen the most loyal side of the fan base become to the point where they're so frustrated with what they're watching on Saturdays right now. Like this can't be all we have. It just simply can't be it. And so that's that's where I'm at. I think we're largely on the same page. That's just like, we can't just trot this out again. And if we're gonna trot this out again, don't even play the game. Like I'm like half kidding. Like seriously, like this is
punt
not
it.
a serious
Just punt
operation.
it. Just go out there and punt it.
It's not a serious operation as is. Like it doesn't look like we're trying. It really doesn't.
Like, honestly, because I would feel better if we just went out there, handed the ball to Willis or handed the ball to Nixon, handed the ball to Tyreek Hill. Just hand the ball off every single time in the game.
Times.
You get to 4th down, you punt it, and you let your defense play. You give your defense maybe a little bit of a chance because the quarterback play is just not it's not going to win any games. It's not. So if you're not going to change it, change your game plan. But if you're not going to change that, you're not going to change your game plan, and then you're going to sit there and tell me, "Oh, this is the best guy we got. Oh, he's getting better. Oh, if he came out and played the way he did in the 3rd and 4th quarter versus Pitt, we wouldn't even be having this conversation." Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. I was there. I was at the game. He did nothing in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
I mean, I'm with you. And like, I mean, how much do we really want to litigate this entire? I mean, I think you can make actually a real argument he hasn't outplayed anybody in the second half of the game either. And that includes Colgate. Colgate put up a lot of points on Syracuse in the second half of that game. Ricky came in, turned the ball over once, and then led one scoring drive.
That was a lot of screens.
Right. Like against the FCS team. Colgate was moving the ball on us at that point, you know, like with their 2nd or 3rd string quarterback. If people remember, they played everybody on their roster in that game, you know?
They have a backup.
That's sort of where I want to. It's like, it's not getting better. It is not getting better. It was never good. It's not getting better. I feel for the kid. I don't want to continue to bury him either, but if you keep trotting him out there, I have to talk about it. Like,
it's not a Ricky thing. It's not a Ricky thing. This is unfair to Ricky at a certain point.
It is. It's clearly the kid is lost. He's completely lost out there. His confidence it's below the field. He is not seeing the game at all.
But we're not changing anything for him. We're doing the same game plan, the same shit every fucking week. Every fucking week, it looks exactly the same.
I even think we have even switched some things up on the. I don't think he can execute anything. I don't think it honestly matters what you game plan with him. I don't think
that's fine, but we haven't really switched the game plan. Like, yes, we've made some tweaks to the game plan, but when I'm talking about change the game plan, Tab, I'm talking about
right. You're talking
throw the playbook out and try something completely different. Pull a Jason Beck. Try something completely different. Pull something out your ass.
That I agree with. I mean, I'm tired of it's insanity watching this every week. Like we're not. It's no different week to week. It's no different quarter to quarter. Like I have nothing else to say on this topic. I really don't. I don't want to see him play anymore. I don't.
That's it.